What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we first opened this scene with Cynthia, Phaedra, and Adrian Malouf. Now, the scene was very whimsical. It was very soap opera-esque, with the in and out of fog and all that kind of stuff. And this is the woman who Cynthia is partnering for her new tequila brand. And I feel like having this be the opening scene was to set us up for the theme of Cynthia's tequila launch, right? My thing is, why was Phaedra there? This was pretty much, a update with what's going on with Cynthia's brand with the person who she's partnering with. But what is the purpose of Phaedra being there? I feel like y'all gave Phaedra that automatic honoree of being an OG. Like, since soap operas are pretty much what led to us having amazing television from way back when, this is probably giving homage to the OGs of reality TV. You know what I'm saying? She was a part of the original cast of Beverly Hills. I did not watch the earlier seasons of Beverly Hills. Cynthia and Phaedra are part of the original casting for RHOA, so that's probably why we have that be the opening scene. But Cynthia really wants this to be a good time. She wants everyone to stop tripping. Let's get over our little issues. And I have no idea what else took place in that scene, because while they were discussing the tequila, I think Adrian talked about a black cherry margarita, and then Phaedra makes a creepy comment about how her vagina is like a black cherry. Gross. Then we, discussing the beef between Pinky and Phaedra, but of course, Phaedra want to talk so much shit in her confessional by saying, you want to talk about how whether or not I said you eat meat. I'm wondering, do you have any own money in your bank account? Do you have money in your bank account? Phaedra, shout out to Andrew Gabor. You just giving punk puss. Straight punk puss. Because you've had a whole lot to say about Pinky in your confessional, but you've never said it to her face. Moving on. So, it is day one of the Dallas trip. And Cynthia is dead set on how she wants everyone to be in that dynasty realm. Big hair, big bold jewelry pieces, extra glam, right? But when they arrive to the airport, nobody but Phaedra and Portia are in the dynasty attire. And they don't know nothing about dynasty. They don't know about Morgan Fairchild and Diane Carroll. They don't know nothing about that, right? I know of it because I used to watch soap operas back in the day, but mine was One Life to Live, General Hospital, All My Children. That was my soap opera, okay? And even with the message, okay, she sent the message about how she wants the ladies to wear something that represents the dynasty attire for the last night, right? But you didn't say anything about them arriving to Dallas in dynasty attire, so everybody wore what they wanted to wear, which is comfortability. Now, as far as for Phaedra and Portia, Phaedra's gonna use any excuse to wear a big, bold, blonde wig, okay? She loves dressing up in costumes. So then, we got Pinky and K. Michelle. Pinky says she's never been on a girls trip because she says she comes with a lot of masculine energy. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you really cannot let your hair down and be around a bunch of women? Like, are you not comfortable being around a bunch of women? Like, what does that mean? And, she said, I hang out with the guys a lot. Then we got K. Michelle, who says that being around a bunch of women, a bunch of cattiness, that's a lot of hormones. I don't know if I'm going to be here for that, but, excuse me, I'm going to be open-minded, and I want to get to know the ladies, okay? Now, listen, whenever I hear somebody saying that they don't know how to navigate being on a girls trip, or they're never taking the girls trip, it's given you don't know how to interact with other women. I don't know if you look as if you want to be the the most beautiful one in the room, the most famous one, the most liked one. I have no idea. The most popular one. I have no idea why certain women say they don't know how to be around other women, or they've never had girl groups before. I've explained my reasonings, okay? And I get along with practically everybody. I don't have that feeling where I can't get along with a bunch of women. I can get along with anybody. So while they're on the plane, Pinky decides to do this long sermon. I understand. Pray for our takeoff. Pray for our landing. I understand all that, right? We got to go. So then Kelly asks Angela, so what's been going on with her properties? Then Pinky said, you trying to sell your portfolio? She said, oh, girl, no. My portfolio has been dismantled, taken away from me. And then Pinky went on to talk about how she has to file for a certain type of bankruptcy, but she says she don't make no money personally. She has 7 different businesses with 7 different names. She has to file bankruptcy 11. And I was like, what? What does that mean? I feel like whenever Pinky is opening the conversation, like she has been doing since she's been on the show, to discuss how she has to file for bankruptcy, she always has to back it up with, but she has all these other businesses. She has all these other ways of making a lot of money. If you have all of these other businesses that are making a kill ton of money, then how come you couldn't pay for that $89,000 of back rent that you said you could wipe your ass with? Like, I feel like Pinky overshares with how much money she is happy to have, but yet she still says, I gotta file for bankruptcy. Like, make it make sense. You being braggadocious about your businesses, but yet you're having a hard time navigating your businesses. I don't understand. I'm lost. Shamea is feeling left out and feeling a bit confused because she is hearing all this talk about bankruptcy and how to file for a certain type of bankruptcy, and she's feeling afraid about starting her rum company because she doesn't want to deal with this type of pressure. She doesn't want to deal with this kind of issue that might happen. Well, Shamea, you don't have to. You can just be a kept housewife. It's totally fine. You can do your hosting gigs, you know what I'm saying, your interviews. That can still be something you can capitalize off of. You don't need to have a brand. You don't need to have your own separate business. It's fine. It's okay. You ain't got to worry about that. Then Angela is talking about how she took a big L with losing $2 million of her own money for those properties because she had to file for bankruptcy to stop the foreclosure on them. So she figured, let me go ahead and bite the bullet and pay the whole money and pay the entire amount. So that way nobody's going to come after me about what I owe them. So, hey, I ain't mad at that. There's the difference right there. I lost $2 million of my own money to stop from someone coming after me for my money. Shout out to Angela, okay? So then we see Cynthia ask K. Michelle, does she have a prenup with her husband? She said no, she does not, and I don't know why not. K. Michelle, you have a lot of records under your name. You have a lot of awards under your name. You have other brand deals under your name. Why would you not want to protect what you came into the marriage with? Why would you not want to do that? So she said that her dentist husband literally has no care in the world for what she has accomplished. Like, he doesn't want nothing from it. And she likes to, shower him what she got going on. And he said, no, I'm good. So she saw it was no reason to have a prenup, just to protect what you have. So because he doesn't want anything from her, she's just assuming that he's not going to take anything from her. And the fact that he doesn't even have social media. Now she says she wishes that he was on social media so she can catch him in something. Why would you want to catch him in something? You and him have already dealt with being with other people. So are you wanting for him to have a social media presence so that way you could be a part of the conversation of having an unfaithful husband? I don't understand. And she said all men cheat. Then what the hell did you get married for if all men cheat? What the hell? Like, K. Michelle, what is happening here? I don't understand. We are dealing with so much in this time where women are literally being bamboozled and swindled into not protecting themselves when it comes down to being married to somebody that's going to eventually betray them in the long run. We see what's happening with Drew. We see what's happening with Kelly. Okay, Michelle, why would you not want to protect what you already came into the marriage with? And I know you've known him since junior high, and I don't think he has any ill intentions on taking anything from you, but why would you leave yourself open like that? Just because you don't think he wants anything from you doesn't mean that when the marriage might end, I'm not saying it will, he's liable to take almost half of everything you've worked hard for. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. And Kay, I'm going to say this though. When you said that you happy that he doesn't have social media so that way you ain't got to catch him doing anything, you ain't got to be monitoring who is in his DMs, who he's having conversations with, I feel like you need to look at yourself. Because I sometimes get the impression though, Kay, you can be very my husband, but you will allow having inappropriate conversations with other men. But you'll give yourself license to do that though. But I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Nobody wants your husband. And I'm not talking about him not being attractive or anything, but girl, please, y'all have been together since junior high, and he's been dealing with you in all parts of you. You've been dealing with him in all parts of him. Like, I doubt anything's going to happen. So then we see the ladies finally arrive in Dallas. Kelly is telling us that she's going through a lot because finding out that her kids cannot be seen on camera, so she needs this break. Yes, Kelly's been going through a lot throughout the duration of this season, and it is very interesting to me that, not interesting, it was surprising that we haven't seen anything about Kelly ever since she dropped her oldest daughter off to college. Like usually I can, expect to see Kelly in the kitchen doing breakfast with her daughters, but she can't show that. So it's like, Kelly, what is your storyline? What are you going to bring to the table? Because I feel like all of this energy you've been giving to the ladies, I feel like that's probably what you need to do to make sure you are staying interested. You're staying, exciting to still be a part of the show. You know what I'm saying? We got to still find ways of liking you still. Very interesting. So they head to the Sprinter van. Angela asked Drew how was her date with Black. She said it was good. Me and him are still friends. He gave me some roses, and how he enjoyed every single one of y'all when he spent 3 hours on the phone with a ring light at Portia's black dinner party. Then she pointed at K. Michelle, was like, you mean you guys know each other? You guys are friends? She said, I don't know that man. Portia was like, what you mean you don't know that man? So in K. Michelle's confessional, she calls Portia a bimbo because she is defending the fact that she don't know Black, even though just a few weeks ago you said he was in your DMs and he was trying to shoot his shot and you never replied. He wanted to give you his number. So I don't know why you're trying to deny how you don't know him. And then when you were at Portia's house for her dinner party, Black was on the phone and you answered and said, hi, it's nice to see you. So when Drew saw how familiar you were to him, she kind of put two and two together that you guys are cool with one another. You guys know one another. And how you guys are literally traveled in the same social circles. You guys know of one another. You know what I'm saying? So, Kay, I don't know, because you brought it up that he was in your DMs. I don't know why you brought it up if you are just going to act like you don't know what Portia's talking about, how you said you didn't know him when you knew he's been reaching out to you. You've never replied to his DMs, but you've been accepting the DMs. Okay, fine. So then we get to a truck stop so everyone can use the bathroom. Shamea lets us know that truck stops are nasty because her parents own a trucking company, and to make sure you don't touch anything, truckers will pee in a cup and pour it back in the toilet so they don't have to touch anything. I understand all of what she's saying because my husband's a truck driver. My husband has told me plenty of stories about how these truck stops are fucking nasty. But Shamea, I have to say this. You do not have to act out how somebody's going to stand over a toilet to pee while you're wearing a tennis skirt. You did not have to show us that. There are moments where I've said you're fucking corny, but sometimes you're crass. You know what I'm saying? You're cringe to look at when you be acting entirely too goofy for my taste. And it annoys me. You know what I'm saying? So they make it to the house, even though Cynthia told them it was going to be about 20 minutes to the house. It was longer than 20 minutes. They were far, far out there. They didn't even make it to the house no later than maybe 7 o'clock. But the house is gorgeous, okay? The house is sitting on 25 acres. We meet the owner of the house. The title of the house is called House of Faith. I don't know why Phaedra wanted to attach herself to the title of the house. So while the main house has about maybe 5 bedrooms, it also has a tiny house on the property as well as a pool house. So, of course, we have to assign rooms. This is what always happens on cast trips. Somebody is going to feel a way about the room that they're going to get, okay? So Cynthia gives Pinky the tiny house because she feels like Pinky has that loner wolf personality. She loves being by her lonesome, and Pinky accepts it. You know what I'm saying? It was like 1,000 square foot. It was a full kitchen, a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Perfect, right? So she was like, I'm in my own little corner in my own little chair, okay? Now, Cynthia is figuring out who she's going to give the pool house. Now, she wants to decipher between the 3 groups because we have 3 sets of friendships in this group. We got Phaedra and Portia, Angela and Drew, and Shamea and Kelly. So who is going to get the pool house? Now, Cynthia dragged it out as to who is she going to choose for the pool house. She was deciphering because she is saying these 2 ladies are inseparable. They're the best of friends. They are joined to the hip, and I do think they will enjoy having this place to themselves. So she gave it to Shamea and Kelly. No doubt about it. I wasn't surprised either. But when they got to the pool house, they felt the way. And I don't know why they felt the way. The pool house wasn't bad. So the rest of the ladies are picking out their rooms in the main house. I think K. Michelle's room was the better one because it had a gorgeous window that oversaw the whole entire city of Texas, and it was dope. But this is also a time for people to get ready for dinner. And Angela pops by the pool house to check in on Shamea and Kelly, and they're upset. So Angela was like, I mean, listen, when she was deciphering about who to choose for the pool house, I knew she was gonna pick y'all, right? But Kelly and Shamea, they're wondering why they received the pool house, and they want to feel like, could this be ill intention? Should she? Did Cynthia set us up? But it's like, why would you think she set y'all up, or why would y'all think it's something else for her to like choose this house for y'all? Because they are talking about freaking frack, okay? And Kelly being the main one saying how freaking frack is whack. Okay, like so much energy, but like why are you so confused about how you want them to be in the pool house and not you? Like, I don't understand. The pool house is nice. Y'all got your own separate beds, separate bathrooms, a full staff kitchen. Like, I'm confused. What is the issue with having the pool house? But I'm just like, y'all really did y'all like I did y'all want to be where everyone else is? Y'all act like y'all gonna be like not included into the festivities of being down here. Like, the house can't fit everybody. The house is not designed that way. Hence on why there's multiple areas of people could sleep there. There's a tiny house and a pool house. Like, I'm confusing. I'm so confused. But here I am thinking that they're doing way too much complaining about the house. Shamea calls Gerald to tell him that there's stains on the bed, the sink is dirty, there might have been a drop of cleaning fluid on the toilet, there's dust in the ceiling. I said, okay, so the house wasn't presentable for guests, okay? Well, that needs to be a problem with the owner of the house. The owner of the house did not make sure that every part of the properties were clean because she is housing RHOA. This is another opportunity for her house to be seen on television. She should have made sure the house is clean. So I can get that, but even if looking at how they were describing how dirty it wasn't even that dirty in my opinion. Yes, there were things that should not have been seen when you're inviting guests to live there, but y'all could have just did a whole wipe down situation and kept it pushing. But either way, the other ladies make it to dinner, and Pinky lets them know that they're not coming down because the house wasn't clean, so they don't feel like eating. Then K. Michelle says she's not coming down because her glam team didn't come. Huh? Both of these reasonings don't make sense in my opinion, okay? So she's explaining how they didn't take a shower, they didn't change their clothes because the house is dirty. But hearing how much they've complained about how the house was dirty, have they spoken to Cynthia so she can set it to be clean? Because if y'all been sitting here all day and all night basically complaining about how the house is fucking dirty, then y'all could have spent that moment talking to Cynthia and making a way for that room to be clean. Or y'all could have did it y'all fucking selves. Like, y'all are not opposed to cleaning up. And Portia, she's just trying to find the positive side as to why we're here. You know what I'm saying? This is for Cynthia. She's invited us to be there for her brand. She's doing the best she can to give us a great experience, a great time. So upon, just talking about what's going on with Kelly and Shamea, I'm not sure if they told Cynthia about the rooms yet. But we did see that 20 minutes ago, Cynthia did get the update that they weren't coming to dinner because their rooms weren't clean. So here's my thing. Y'all made it to that house like around 7 o'clock, 7:30. It is now maybe 8 o'clock, 9. Have y'all been mad and just bitching and complaining for almost an hour and never told Cynthia until it got late? Because if it gave us a time that y'all just told her 20 minutes ago when y'all pretty much told Pinky way earlier about how y'all not coming to dinner, then y'all are literally trying to create an issue for no reason. That could be just me, okay? Now, Pinky, she is feeling how the ladies are feeling about how, I'm home away from home and I'm coming to a place that's not cleaned up. I wouldn't like that, but she likes her little house on the prairie. And because she is so happy with what she has and she doesn't want the ladies to feel uncomfortable, she's going to give them her room and then she's going to bunk with K. Michelle. Fine, cool. So because Kelly and Shamea aren't coming to dinner, we see K. Michelle come down to the pool house with her Jack Daniels because she don't want to go because her glam team isn't, there to do her makeup, but you're still hanging out with them on camera. Like, what we doing here, Kay? You still want to make yourself seen. If you really did not want to come down at all to dinner, then you wouldn't have been down there with Kelly and Shamea. Because she said glam is very important to her. She does not go in there without glam. She doesn't know how to color a coloring book. I'm just like, Kay, please. Like, that's so diva-ish in my opinion. Like, you don't want us to make it so presentable to go and hang out with the ladies. It would not have been difficult for you to slap a couple of dabs of blush, put a nice lip gloss on, and then make your way downstairs. It would have been so simple. You should know how to do a simple makeup look. I know how to do a simple makeup look, and I'm not even in makeup that much. I buy little things to do something that I don't have to do too much to my face. But Kelly, she is definitely going through a lot. Okay, she talks about how her ex at a press conference talking about he wants to take her parental rights away, and it's hurting her because you did all of that just to make me look bad. You didn't do that because you want a better relationship with your children. No, you wanted to make it harder for her because we know he stopped her from filming with her children. And yeah, I'm sorry, Kelly. This is a whole lot. And like, you married this man, had his kids, and this man wasn't even that attractive, but he had a lot of money. And in the long run, you're the one that's got burned and betrayed in the whole situation. Like, I'm so sorry. So they tell her not to cry. No, they tell her it's okay to cry, but you need to express how you feel. You're so strong for everybody. Who's being strong for you? So the ladies are being presented with dinner. There's vegan options for Pinky. Then Cynthia arranged a pool delivery for Kelly and Shamea. Now Pinky is going on about how the ladies are not feeling good about the room situation, and as a friend she wants to be there no matter what. But because she has grown closer to Kelly and Shamea and K Michelle, it is not taken away that she still wants to be present and get to know the ladies right in front of her. Okay, but when it came down to how they felt about the room, Pinky wants to know, was there any ill intentions? Did you have a reason as to why you put them in this room, or was it because you're not as close to them? Well, if you knew, Pinky, Cynthia is very close to Shamea. But I don't think that Cynthia had any other reason behind it. She just figured they're very close, they're always together, they would love to have a place for themselves. That's it, that's all. But considering the fact that you feel a way about how they don't like how their room wasn't clean, when I spoke to them, they didn't have the same energy that you're having to me right now. Because I feel like Cynthia is feeling a bit like interrogated by Pinky, because Pinky is the main one speaking out about how about how Kelly and Shamea feel, because you act like it's happening to you, but it's not happening to you. You don't have a problem with your house. So why are you having so much to say about how they feel about their house? And I understand why Pinky will feel away because she's closer to them, right? But at the end of the day, y'all can't hold it over Cynthia's head about how the room was dirty and she's not trying to figure out a way to get it clean. You know what I'm saying? And Angela, she jumps in and it's like, well, yes, I asked them myself when I spoke to them. They said they did feel away about how they got selected the room. They weren't certain of the reason why they got selected the rooms. And that's when Angela reveals to Phaedra that Kelly said that freaking Fact should have gotten a room because y'all are whack. But I'm confused, like Portia confused. Like, we whack because we were supposed to get the rooms, but why and then of course, if y'all should also realize this. Angela knows Portia and Phaedra. She has years of friendship with them. Like, at the end of the day, Cynthia wanted the people to be in the house with her because that's who she chose, right? I don't feel like there was no slightness, there was no ill intention, there was nothing, okay? And Kelly and Shamea, you guys are always together. You guys are Ren and Stimpy, okay? So I don't understand why you guys would make it this big of a deal. Now, Pinky, she's still going on about how they felt it might have been a dig, but why do they feel like it's a dig? Because we see her downstairs getting all the tea that they can't come upstairs and have a conversation with Cynthia themselves. They're telling you what to tell her. So she's like, do you think it was intentional? You think it was something else? Kelly said it's something, because like, what is happening? It don't make any sense to me as to why you want to create a reason why you were given this room. It's a fucking pool house. Y'all making it seem as if it's the maid's quarters or something. Like, it's your own place. Why would y'all feel away about your own place? I get it. It wasn't presentable, but y'all act like it was like filthy. Like there were like, dirt all over the floors. You see roaches and shit. Hell nah. It's just a little dust here and there. Y'all could easily have gotten a Clorox wipe from the staff kitchen and did a quick wipe down. Y'all don't need to drag this out more than y'all needed to. Like, it was annoying the fuck out of me. So Angela, she's, asking the question, like, could that have been the case though? So Pinky was like, I mean, at one point I did think it was the case, because why would you give them this kind of room? So Angela's kind of feeling like Pinky's from a place of hostility, because she is just so passionate. She's just so, adamant about, why would you give them this room? And maybe the word hostility could have been the word to use, but it's like, I get it that you feel some type of way about how they got selected this room, but the order was the order. And we got to fill these houses somehow. People got to sleep somewhere, okay? We can't have all the people in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to find a place to sleep. It is what it is. You know, Pinky, she's just trying to get a feel about what's going on because she's still trying to get to know people. But it's like, what you complaining for? Like, okay, is it new for you to be around room? Is it new for you to be around women of different types of personalities? Because I'm trying to get an understanding. But these questions that Pinky was asking, they weren't bad. Her tone and her delivery is what made it like, girl, what are you trying to get at? What are you trying to force out? I don't understand. And Pinky, she's just over Pinky trying to explain how the ladies feel because we get it, okay? We see Cindy trying to rectify the situation, just let it go, okay? Drew asked Portia, is she going to talk to Kelly? She said, no, I'm not sure. We haven't had a conversation, you know, since our awkward exchange. I did send her flowers, but, you know, I don't think she accepted the flowers. But Pinky said, do you feel like you don't want to speak to her because she said that you were messing with a married man and that hurt you? Yeah, she did do that. You know, she did say that to me, and I did it to her because what I said was true. But what she said to me wasn't true. What? Huh? Portia, please. Because Kelly was only responding to the comment you made about how you were going to fuck Charles. So because you didn't like that that was something true about you, you went and pulled a lie about Kelly. But you want us to believe that what you say is the truth when you have no receipts about Kelly messing with a married man, but yet we got actual evidence. We got proof of you messing with a married man on camera. We saw posts, we saw tweets. Then you end up getting a reality show and you still wanted to make it seem as if this was a love you found in a hopeless place. Like, girl, what? And that's why you did not return to that following season, because you did not want to be asked as to how you got involved with this man. Like, what are we talking about? Angela said, I don't understand the appeal of wanting to screw somebody's husband. Okay, like, why is that something we need to continuously talk about and get an understanding? And she does find it very funny, and it's a huge accusation coming from Portia to make about Kelly when you said out of your own mouth you want to fuck my husband. So what makes you think you're going to accuse somebody else doing something that I know you will do? And I agree with Angela. Like, baby, the jokes write themselves, Portia. You cannot shift the scarlet letter on someone else because you didn't want to accept it yourself. But she said that there are things about Kelly she likes because she thinks that they're like the same person. But then she wants to deflect and feel like, you know what, I'm not the only thing that we need to talk about. Okay, there are other things that we have to discuss and move on from. And they were like, what things? Pinky and Phaedra. The way that Portia removed that entire conversation about married men off of her is like, wow. Anytime she's asked the question of what she knows she's not going to admit, she flips it and puts it on somebody else. So we get to the whole fake vegan comment, okay? Now, they have to explain the whole situation because Drew wasn't there at her giveaway event. So they didn't resolve it because it got heated. So how did we hear the information? She heard it from Shamea because Shamea was at her house where Angela and Pinky were there. Now, when she first heard it, she thought it was a joke, right? But it kept on being brought up again. So it's like, is she really saying this about me? Because that can affect my business. Like, don't mess with my money, all right? Now, knowing that Phaedra did not say it, it was Kelly. Kelly said she saw you eating a steak. She called you a fake vegan. So as far as like, how did it even come up on the phone conversation with Shamea, right? We get to the full conversation that we saw the other week about how the conversation about Pinky being a vegan, right? Phaedra want to act lost and confused about how she'll never just casually talk to Shamea about Pinky, but that's exactly what you did. We saw at the beginning of the conversation. You said that before she became a vegan, she had a Jamaican restaurant where she served all kinds of meat. That's probably what Shamea heard was the vegan part, because you added in that, you know, that time where she was a meat eater and now she's not a meat eater. You wanted to bring up that before she became a vegan, she used to sell meat, which implies she used to eat meat. And now that she is in the vegan business, you're kind of drawing that implication that, oh, she was one, now she's not one. She was having this kind of business and now this kind of business taken off. Like, you're kind of making it seem as if she is being fake and not being authentic of once being in the meat business and now she's in the not meat business. Like, she can't obviously change from being a meat eater and being a non-meat eater. Like, you really are implying that. back with the ladies. K Michelle talk about her country music album. It is dropping soon, and of course, when they release new music and country, they spread it. They don't drop it all the way. And her album is done, but she's gonna still do everything she wants to do in her life, and she's gonna add more songs. Fine. Cynthia pops up to check in on how they are, and she is telling them the room is going to be scheduled to be clean. She's very sorry, that was unacceptable. She understands that they were upset, but the way that she heard it like they were really, really mad. And she said, we were because it was inappropriate. It wasn't right. It wasn't cool. But we don't think you would intentionally do that, right? Absolutely not. I would never give out the dirtiest room. I would never do that. So when they first did the walkthrough, she didn't notice it. It was just a gorgeous room. She did not do a deep investigation and saw that the house wasn't clean. Okay? But here's my thing, though. Kelly and Shamea are not keeping it a buck about how they really feel, because they've been questioning Cynthia's intentions the entire time. And y'all got Pinky having all this passion for how y'all have expressed it to her. Like, I don't know. I feel like Kelly and Shamea were being fake. They weren't being, real about how they really are upset. Because if y'all told Pinky, then y'all should have told Cynthia. Okay, so we're back with the other ladies. Angela is peeping Pinky's energy, you know what I'm saying? Because she's just wondering, like, what is with this hostility? What is with this, bluntness, abrasive energy? So it's like, are you bothered? She said, by who? By you? Oh, I'm not bothered by you. I'm not bothered by anybody. Okay, you didn't have to say it like that. And she just kept on going by saying, you don't pose a threat to me. Angela said, I'm not trying to be a threat to you. I'm just peeping your energy. And I'm getting the sense you are bothered. It ain't about what I have. And it's like, well, you don't have nothing that I want. So why would I be bothered by you? Girl, I'm me. And then just the way that she just had that ready defensive energy to just defend that there's nothing about Angela that she wants. But it wasn't about Angela. She said, listen, that's the insecurity coming through, okay? Because you going up here, so you're going off the physicality. We ain't got to go there. We can go dollar for dollar. That's what you want to do, okay? So, they go back and forth. I think Pinky said bitch at some point, and it's like, okay, I'll be that bitch. As Angela would put it, I am the best at taking control of myself, okay? So I will be Miss Bitch for you. Clock it, Angela, okay? Pinky says it's a term of endearment because I am a bad bitch. Okay, Angela reads her by saying you are a bad bitch, but don't pay her bills. This back and forth had me on the floor. Okay, this shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Pinky's going. Angela said, "Girl, I could throw a rock and hit 10 people that you owe." Okay, I have never canceled Christmas for my employees. Girl, Pinky's like, I have a multi-million-dollar business. She said, you have multi-million-dollar bills. That's what you do have. Like, I was in tears. I have to rewind this scene like 5 fucking times because it is hilarious, okay? Pinky's all about my husband's paid and my husband has a brand, but yet you didn't want to take your husband's $5 million. How was he paid if you didn't want to take his money? You wouldn't have been filing for bankruptcy. Oh my God, it was just so much going back and forth. I was like, ooh shit, mic drop. Pinky said, oh, kiss my ass. And then here go Phaedra being creepy, talking about a woman's body. And if you're going to tell someone to kiss your ass, I expect a big ass, like a roast, not a flat steak. Phaedra, shut the fuck up. You act like you have a natural body. No, you don't, okay? Yours is doctor's made, okay? There's a serial number on the back. But Pinky is a natural woman. She has natural curves. So stop playing with me, Phaedra. Stop. So while they're going back and forth, we see Shamea, Kelly, and K Michelle sashaying up the steps. No. Why y'all here? No. Y'all didn't want to come to dinner, remember? Now because there's an argument, y'all want to be seen? Nah, y'all can't come here. Y'all can't sit with us. Go back downstairs. Don't, Bye. Go. Okay? Now, it was funny that when Pinky stood up and she sat back down, Angela said, I don't like you. I don't have to like you. And that's when Pinky brings up her husband. Like, your husband don't like you. She said, we don't have a living wife. That's what we don't have. There's a wife in your basement. I said, there's a living wife in the basement. What? Do you have a living wife, though, Pinky? Do you have one? All right? Now, they go back and forth about how I got millions, I got this. Girl, please, you don't have none of that. You don't even pay your employees. What you talking about? And then Pinky went for the physical by saying, take off your glasses, take off your lace front, take off your makeup. Let's see what you look like, Damon. Now, I don't know why nobody picked up what Damon came from. Damon, I am a boy. You are not in prison anymore, Damon. If y'all don't know where that came from Friday After Next. Okay, please, please. I hope somebody caught that. But Pinky baby, you really cannot tell anybody that they need to take off their makeup and their wig because, ma'am, we can easily look directly to our right and see that Q-tip you call a head. Okay, no. Your head like a Q-tip. Okay, there's nothing there. So stop. Stop. Oh my God, wait, I gotta say this though, because when Pinky talked about Angela's teeth, she said, oh, not with your teeth commingling. You got incestuous teeth. Oh, Pinky, you should have just quit what you were ahead. I mean, you really had nothing really to go at Angela, in my opinion. You went for the look, she went for your business, and you did not deny nothing that she said. All the way down to you having a third wife in the basement. I cannot, okay? But listen, okay, it calmed down, right? And she said, listen, we can take it back. Because I wasn't saying that you were bothered by me, okay? I wasn't saying that at all. It's just that your tone, the way it came across is aggressive. And that's how I was explaining. That's why I was saying it. And I think that since Pinky has been just so direct, since she's been on this show, I don't think she recognizes how her tone can come across. That she's always ready to fight. She's always ready to be on the defense. And I'm saying she's always telling a story about how she has this, she's done this, she has to have this. I've been to the bottom, now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? All my life I had to fight. She gives off that type of feeling, that type of like energy, And it was interesting and super funny. This was given like old reminiscent housewives, okay? Where we can have a good roasting session. And then we are back to normal. That was so funny. Like seeing Pinky and Angela go back and forth with this Shade Fest was like reminiscent to Marlo and Eva. Maybe a little bit of Marlo and Sheree, but of course we got Kenya and Nene, okay? I was here for it. I was dying, okay? But now notice that the rest of the ladies, meaning Kelly and Shamea, they sat down. Kay Michelle was the only one that was still standing, right? Drew said, Kay, you don't want to sit down? She said, no, I sat down wrong. I was like, how did you sit? But then I'm noticing you was down by the pool house on the concrete. So did you sat too fast? Did something else bust? Like, what you mean? But the fact that she was so standoffish and she didn't want to sit down once Drew asked her to sit down, it's like, I don't understand. Drew was confused by Kay's energy because she wants to get to know her, but it's like you're giving cranky, and I don't understand why you're cranky. And then for somebody who is so consumed about how they look and how they present, you showed mental stuff everywhere in this episode. You weren't hiding in your room. You were still present. It's like, what was your real reason as to why you did not want to come down to dinner? But yeah, you still made it to dinner. Because let's look at how your priorities were confusing when you went to the Country Music Awards, your butt leaked, you gotta, change, rearrange to still make it out there to sing your heart out. You went to surgery, but yet instead of going home to rest, you came to the nail salon and still shoot a scene. Like, that didn't make any sense. But because you did not have glam, you still didn't want to be seen with the ladies, but yet you still showed up to be on camera. Like, I don't got time for this, Kay. I don't. Like, do you feel out of place because you're not glammed up? Like, what's going on here? I ain't got time. It's like you are making things difficult on purpose, and I don't know why. And do you want people to, like, follow you and chase you and get an understanding? I don't understand. I don't get it. But, y'all, that's it, y'all. That is so it. That's it. That's all I have. Oh, this was such a good episode. So good. But, y'all, please stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.